get there. We don't get there, right? Because there's a hole. But that doesn't matter. The limit doesn't care what's happening at -3. Only what you are approaching. All right? So -1. Who's up? Back table there. This one, right, is saying both sides, right? And we have a problem because we already know from the two different sides they're different answers, right? And if they're two different answers, then this limit right here, we will say does not exist. So I'm going to answer the question because I hadn't done this one yet. But do you see how these two do not match? Therefore, this limit does not exist. What would I need in order for this to actually exist? I would need both of these to be 1 or both of these to be -1. If they matched, then I would just put that number here, whatever it is. And that would mean they are going to the same place. Make sense? Okay, without me having to write this all, the 12 questions, do you think that you could do the same thing, f of -3, -3 from the left, -3 from the right, and -3? Do you think you could do that for the following numbers? I want x to approach -1. I want x to approach 1. And I want x to approach 4. Do y'all know what I'm saying here? Do these 4 questions again. Do this one, so replace that with -1, -1 from the left, -1 from the right, -1. Then do another 4 questions with 1 in here. 1, 1 from the left, 1 from the right, 1. And then 4, 4 from the left. Got it? Yes? Okay. See what you get. I'm going to give you, what time do we end?
45.
Oh my God, this class blows by so fast for me. If you have a question, talk to your classmates. If not, raise your hand. I guess I'll put them on the board.
So you see where he said x is approaching -3 on the left side? You're replacing those numbers.
Oh, right. I put it in front. Yeah.
So those are the next 4 questions, and then if it seems easy, good.
Is it?
It's not.
It's not rocket science.
I'm not going to say it's easy because not everybody sees it as easy. Look,
I think it's just very in your face. So like just read a graph.
all you're doing is reading a graph, but that can be difficult for some people with the left and right. You know, it's kind of relative. There's another 4 here.
So the first one was -2? Well, that's the function. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Those are the 12 questions. Okay.
It's like just finding the dot and getting closer to it. So if you do x,
because I completely lost track when I got to right.
Okay. Why don't you focus on trying to analyze this question here instead of backtracking right now. And let me try and see if I can figure out where your confusion is. So let's look at E. Let's look at E. What is E asking you?
Yeah, okay. No, so
What does it say?
Times -1,
Not times, f of -1,
f of -1.
right? Okay, so that means when you look at the graph, what is the value of the function at -1?
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's what it's saying.
I'm assuming you do 0, yeah. That'd be 0.
Look, if I give you a function, look at this. Right? Let's say I give you a function, and I ask you to plug in -1. You're going to replace all the x's with -1, right? So you're going to replace that. You're going to get -2 plus 1. You're going to get -1, right? That means if you were to look at the graph of this function, at -1, you would be at -1. You'd have a dot here, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay, so if I asked you, what's f of 2, you would say 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, you'd say 5, right? So that means at 2, you're at 5. Right? You with me?
The -1 is the -1 and the -1 connect because.
Because when you plug in -1, you get -1.
Got it.
When you plug in 2 for x, you get 5, right? So now instead of this, let's act like this is a graph. And I ask you right now, what's f of 2? And you just ignore this completely. Okay? What's f of 2? Then you go, okay, at 2, what comes out of the function at 2? 5, right? 5. So part E is asking you, what's the function's value at -1? So you go to -1, where's your dot? Where's the dot? At -1, 2, at -2, right? So that's -2. Did I write something down wrong? What? What?
Oh, no, I wrote it down wrong, the number. It was 1.
Yes? Sure? Okay, now this question is not asking this. This is saying, instead of looking at -1, look at -1, but approach from the left. So here's -1, right? This is x is -1. Walk along your graph as if you're approaching this -1, and tell me where your y value is here. So what is that approaching? You're moving along here. What is the y value approaching? What is this y value right here? -3, right? -1, -2, -3. Which one on top? This one? This? No, because I'm approaching -1, right? Here's -1. This is our x-axis. 0, 1, 2, 3. This is -1. I'm not over here. I'm near -1. So I'm coming in along the graph, approaching this wall, and I want to know how high I am. And I'm getting closer and closer to this number. Do you agree? You sure? So what is it? -3. What about the next one? You're approaching -1 from the right. So you're here, but now you're coming in from this side, right? Walking along. So how high is that? -2. Does that make sense? Now this one, since it doesn't have the plus or the minus, means you have to look from both sides as you approach -1. And we already know that from both sides you get 2 different answers, right? Yes, they're 2 different answers. So this does not exist. These would have to be the same for us to be able to give an answer here. Try the next one on your own. Do you all have questions? Who has questions? You guys? I'm going to pass around the sign-in sheet.
From approaching it, the point, do we just like pick the point that's there, or can we like obviously it goes through negative one?
You had a question also, right?
Which ones have to be the same for it to?
Yeah.
These two. The left and the right-hand limits have to be the same.
Wait for J.
Do y'all want me to put the answers up here? Do y'all want the answers up here? Just so you have them or no? In a couple of minutes? All right, I can wait. Yes. Which one? F and G. Okay, so this just tells you where you are on the x-axis. Okay, we're at -1. All right. So -1 is right there, right? Now, this negative tells you we're going to come from the left. So what we need to do is get close to this wall, walk on the function from the left side. Now, what we're looking at is how high up and down we are. So we're actually going down, right? And we get real close to this point right here, which is this value, right? And that is -1, -2, -3, right? So as we move down, we're getting closer to -3. We're never getting there, but we're getting closer to it, right? That's where this comes from. Okay? Now, go to -1 again. The plus sign means coming from the right. So this time we're walking on this side. Okay, I know you can't see that, but we're walking on this side. And our height is getting closer and closer to this point, which is at -2, right? So that's why that's -2. Okay.
I got -1 and 0. That's why I got it. But yeah,
Okay, so let me see if you know it. This one right here, I'm approaching which number? No. Just tell me what this is telling me. I need to go 1? From which side?
So then from
Left. Okay, can you tell me where I'm approaching? When I come into 1 from the left, what the height is approaching? 0, right? And then what is it from the right? 2. See, once you see it, it's like a light bulb, okay? How about the next one is 4, right? So here's 4. From the left, where are we headed? Yeah, I guess you could, I don't know, it depends. I mean, it looks like about here somewhere, right? I wanted it to be 4, but who cares? And then from the right, same thing, right? Okay, that's all we're doing. You're okay? All right. All right, after you've signed in, oh, hey, I need to tell you on the homework. Real quick, on the homework, we did not get as far as I wanted us to. So you're only going to be able to do number 13, 15, and 23. Okay? Yeah, just hold off on the other ones. All right? Those, they give you a graph, and then they ask you to find some limits. Okay? So it's just like what we did here. Remember, I do not collect homework. It's just for practice for yourself. All right? Unless you need it. Yeah. Well, you should do it. All right, we're good to go. I'm going to put the answers up here. Those are the answers. I meant it to be 4. It looks a little lower than 4 maybe, but okay.
Any handouts gonna give out or just homework?
Just homework. I would watch the videos for anything you miss, and then send me an email to let me know. That way, you know, I have something that says, yeah, he let me know that he was going to be gone. Yeah, okay. That way, if you do miss like a quiz or something, I'll let you make it up since you let me know ahead of time. Okay. All right. Have a good one.